So in a video that I just made not too long ago, I was talking about the Canon XF 400/405, a new Canon camera coming out in November. And that got me thinking about the whole, DSLR versus camcorder thing. I just wanted to give my 2 cents. Stay right there. You're going to want to see this. Okay, so let's talk about it. Sometimes there are some debates about which is better, and obviously both have their pros and cons. So I'm just going to kind of discuss my feelings on whether you should shoot with a video camera or you should shoot a DSLR or a mirrorless camera, which is better. Okay, so first off, I just want to talk about some of the cameras that I've used in the past. Now, when I first started shooting video, and I haven't been doing it that long, believe it or not. I've been doing it now for about, I want to say 4 years, 4 years now. I used to be an IT guy, and I switched over to video, went back to school, started doing video instead, because it's something that I always wanted to do. And when I was in school, they had us get this camera. And this is a Canon M31. So this is a consumer level camcorder. And I used it to shoot some professional videos. I mean, I actually made money from this consumer camera. I shot a wedding with this. I shot a few web commercials with this, a promotional video, a few other smaller things. And honestly, for what it is, it's not bad, but obviously it lacks a lot of professional features. There's no zebras or peaking in there. You're not going to shoot externally to a video recorder with this or something crazy. There's no 4K in here. But there is image stabilization. There is a microphone jack and a headphone jack for monitoring your audio, which is really nice. 15 times zoom, so zoom's pretty good. So it's not terrible. And I mean, if you're just learning or if you're just shooting shooting video of your kids or just shooting for fun, you're shooting around town, gets the job done. Then I moved into a Canon T4i, and I had that for a couple of years. And I shot multiple weddings with that. I shot my first film with that, Lock 7. That with a 50mm f1.8 and the 18-135 kit lens, that's typically what I shot the whole movie with. And I think it came out pretty decent for a first movie. So it's definitely capable of giving you a nice picture so long as you know how to expose your shots and you're using decent lenses with it. And using good microphones or whatever, that's going to help too, because obviously we know the audio makes your video look better. I did like that camera. I wound up selling it just a few months ago because I also have, or I upgraded to, after that camera, I upgraded to the Canon 70D. And this is a little nicer because it has the dual pixel autofocus, which I really like. Plus it has some more buttons and dials on it, so it was quicker to adjust your ISO and your aperture and your shutter. You could do things a little quicker with this camera because there's just more dials and buttons. So definitely an upgrade, and it has a better picture than the T4i. But it's almost marginal. It is a better picture, but it's not that much better. So it's not that big of a deal, but just the added buttons and stuff made it easier for shooting weddings. So that was nice, right? After that, as you can see, I still have the 70D and I still use it. But then I also bought the JVC 170U, which is a fixed lens ENG style camera that I figured I would use for more corporate work because I started shooting like seminars and stuff like that. And when you're shooting those, you need your camera to stay on for a long period of time. You can't have the battery die an hour in and then switch the battery and then basically lose, a minute worth of footage. Sometimes you just need your camera to keep running. So that's why I bought the JVC. Wound up selling it though because it just was not good in low light situations. And when I say low light, I'm not talking like reception in a wedding where it's just totally dim. I'm just talking about in the shade or just being indoors in an environment that to your eyes is well lit, but to the camera is just totally dark. And because of that poor performance, I wound up selling it. After that, or actually at that same time, I had a Sony CX900, which had a 1-inch sensor, very similar to the new Canon XF400. And that picture quality was way better than the JVC 170U. And it was way better in low light. The reason I sold that camera is because you could not adjust the picture. So the picture was what it was. It came out the camera, it looks pretty nice, but you couldn't really tweak like the color, saturation, or the detail, the sharpness, contrast, brightness. You really couldn't change that stuff. And I like to be able to manipulate that in my cameras. So without that functionality, it didn't really work for me. Excuse me. Then I decided to get the JVC LS300, which is this beast of a camera right here. So it's very similar to the 170U, except it has a Super 35 sensor in it, which is a nice big sensor that's bigger than 1 inch by a lot. And you can put the interchangeable lenses on it, and it has a nice prime zoom function. So even with a prime lens on here, I can still zoom, which is really, really cool. And then of course it has ND filters on it. It has switches for everything, for gain, for white balance. You name it, it has it. It has the handle on the top, which is a really big deal to me, having this handle where you could zoom, you can record, you got your audio inputs on it, shotgun mic, you know, zoom rocker on the side. I mean, it has buttons for everything. So it's a very good camera that makes you very, very quick when you're doing event shooting. Okay, so basically I was saying all that to show you that I have experience with multiple cameras. So I'm not just coming from the standpoint of someone who's only used video cameras or who's only used DSLRs. I've used DSLRs, mirrorless, and video cameras, consumer video cameras, prosumer video cameras, and professional video cameras. So I have a little experience with everything. As a matter of fact, this is not just like a camcorder. This is actually a cinema camera because you can change the lenses out on it, and it has a Super 35 sensor because it has that big sensor on it. This is a cinema camera. So I have a little experience. And I have to say, I'm just gonna cut to the chase. I'd much rather shoot with a video camera for video over a DSLR or mirrorless camera. To me, it's a big pain in the ass to shoot with them. The battery life on all of them is never really good. Currently, I'm shooting this with a GH4, which has very good battery life for a smaller camera, but it's still not as good as the 6 hours that I get out of this. The stock battery that comes with it is about 4 hours, but you can buy an extended battery that will last you for anywhere from like 7 to about 6 to 7 hours, which basically is a day of shooting. And I never have to change the battery out. So that's a huge deal right there. So if you're shooting something that's long form like a seminar, you could just leave your camera running. You don't have to worry about it shutting down. You're not gonna have to run and change batteries. That's number one. Two, and this is a big one for me, ND filters. That's huge. Having ND filters is a huge thing if you're shooting events and you're going indoors, outdoors. You're going to a bright room, to a dim room. Just being able to flick on the ND filter or turn it off, it makes you quick. It makes you very, very quick, and that's really nice. Number three is this handle. I love this handle. It just makes carrying the camera easier. Just when you just gotta grab it from somewhere, it's just easier to get to. You gotta take it off your tripod real quick to get some type of low angle shot or something. You just take it off, you have it, you can hold it in different ways, you know, you could do different things. That's really nice. I think some people take that for granted. Also, having the audio inputs. You have professional audio going into the camera, so you can use XLR mics that need phantom power with this camera. So if you have a microphone that doesn't take a battery, boom, you just plug it right in, turn on the phantom power, your camera's gonna power the mic. It's really nice. And buttons, man. All these buttons, they just make you quick. I got buttons for everything, man. I could change my aperture control with a little slide of a knob. You know, I can switch my gain, low, high, medium, whatever. White balance, I got presets in here. I don't got to fiddle through a menu. I just flick a switch. Expanded zoom here. You know, this is basically a focus assist. So I can punch that and then boom, it zooms in. I can get my critical focus or whatever. Press it again, it backs out of it, and now I'm always have perfect focus. And if I don't want to use that, I have a focus assist button here. You know, puts the, if I don't want to use that, I got focus peaking right here. I got histograms programmed into this button. I can put my histograms on the screen. All right, so now DSLR / mirrorless cameras. Now what's the benefit to those? Because there are benefits. The biggest benefit I would say is that they're lighter. You know, they're way lighter, they're smaller and compact, so they're easier to pack, especially if you're getting something like a Micro Four Thirds mirrorless camera like the GH4 or something like a A7S. These cameras are really, really small. So you can fit them in a bag, and you can fit a bunch of lenses and equipment in there. And they're easy on your arms or your back when you're lugging them around. So that could be an added benefit, I guess. But like I said, the battery life on those things, man. You know, I know people, you know, will sometimes put like external batteries on them. They put these battery plates on them and all that. But who wants to fiddle with all that? By the time you add those battery plates, external monitors sometimes, because a lot of times you don't have the tools you need to expose your shot properly in those cameras, external monitors and all this other stuff, it's like you already reached the level of money that you would have paid for a cinema camera anyway. So you might as well just gotten some type of cinema camera. What was the point? And with all the added equipment, now you got this Frankenstein thing with all these wires and all this crap. You might forget something at home. That's like the biggest thing. Oh, now I forgot the freaking HDMI cable. Oh, I can't use my external recorder or monitor. Oh, Jesus. You know, that's a pain in the ass. It's just more stuff you got to carry around, more things you got to mentally remember to carry with you. I mean, sure, you can make a list and all that, but when you're scrambling, sometimes you forget things. But I mean, there it is. I mean, in my opinion, I just feel if you're shooting video, you should probably get a video camera and not use a DSLR or mirrorless. Now, at the same time, if your budget allows you to only get an older mirrorless or DSLR, I say get it, because the things are capable of producing really, really great picture. And they're excellent to learn on. And they're excellent to even just use if that's what you want to use. We all have our preferences. But for me, and I guess my style of shooting and the things that I shoot, I just find that a video camera works better. But for you, if a DSLR works better, you're getting good results, keep using it. You know, why not? I'm not telling you not to use it. I'm just giving my opinion. And I'm just letting you know that if you're the type who hasn't tried a video camera before and you're shooting things like I shoot, some of the stuff that I just mentioned, you might want to try one out, all right? Anyway, if you found that useful or entertaining or whatever, go ahead and like it. Please, in this situation, I really want to hear your comments. So go ahead and comment on this. Which one do you like? Do you like both? Do you like one over the other? Do you feel like there's the situations where I only use a DSLR and the situations where I only use a video camera? Let me know. Do you think what I'm saying is crazy and we should all just use DSLRs and mirrorless cameras because they're cool and that's what all the cool kids use? Let me know. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.